Hello and welcome to the 204th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by other host, Jordan.
That's me. I'm back. I never left.
Back? We definitely record these, like our last episode, just like every other episode recorded 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Recorded it back in, what month was that?
I know we did 200. We recorded that in like late March, I think.
Yeah. So it would have been like late April.
Probably like early to mid-April, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't figured out, we recorded a bunch of episodes back to back because I was gone for a while. So I haven't seen Chris in like a month and a half.
No, I haven't seen my pal,
Yeah.
my guy over here.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been literally like a month and a half. And yeah, that's why it took us like an hour and a half to get started. We were chatting.
We were chilling.
Me, Chris, and his dad just chatting. Couple of
We
boys.
were chopping it up.
Yeah. So
But Jordan, I hope you still remember how to do this.
I will be comatose and be mumbling this in my sleep, Chris.
Remind the people where we put this thing.
So, as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed linked below. YouTube and Spotify have the video platform also. Fucking Google Podcast doesn't exist anymore. It's definitely YouTube Music, just as a FYI. And you can find us on Instagram, TikTok. We're not there, like, at all. But you can find us there. We have an account there with stuff that's been there. And then contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Comments, questions, concerns, death threats.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Jordan,
Yeah.
when on our last episode, which obviously you would remember because
It's only a week ago.
it was only 2 weeks ago when we recorded it. Mm-hmm. We had a discussion about snakes.
It's crazy. I literally don't remember that.
So we did have a discussion about snakes, and the conclusion I came to was like snakes and I can coexist peacefully. And I made the comment that our area of the country doesn't really have any dangerous snakes.
Oh, okay. I do remember this.
And the example I used specifically was rattlesnakes. Turns out I'm wrong.
You found a freaking rattlesnake?
I didn't find one. I just know I know that there are timber rattlesnakes that have ranges all the way into Canada. So yes, we do have rattlesnakes.
All right. Well, fact proved wrong.
So that's phase one of this. Phase two, a couple of weeks ago, I was out walking a trail, and I had extra time because it was a weekend, so I went to a nature reserve. So I'm walking the trail, and I'm just like minding my damn business, and I see something across the trail, and I thought it was like a branch or a root.
As one would see.
It's, shit you would find in the trail, and I get maybe like a foot and a half away from this thing, and it darts into the woods. Turns out, not a branch or a root. It was just the biggest fucking snake I have ever seen in my entire life.
I would pack my bags and leave.
This thing was like it had to be at least 5 or 6 feet long. It was fucking ginormous. I've never seen a snake like this in my entire life.
In the wild. Yeah.
Just like I've seen like a python.
Yeah,
like
of
in a
course.
zoo.
Well, like in
Or
the wild, yeah.
Where I don't know if you had this experience, but when we were in elementary school, it seems like a pretty universal experience was to have a reptile guy come in.
Yeah.
It was like a dude who had tubs of reptiles.
Yep.
And he had like this giant fucking python, I remember, that he showed off. And so I've seen shit like that before. And that I can wrap my head around because I'm like, I'm in a gymnasium right now.
Yeah.
If this thing gets loose,
You got the reptile guy.
the reptile guy's here, he'll shoot it or whatever he does.
He pulls out a sledgehammer and fucking ground beefs the thing.
A big, like, King DDD hammer. Just dunk.
The snake goes and falls over.
A big bump comes up off its head.
But yeah, he'll take care of it.
But he'll take care of it. No, this is just a wild snake. The fucking thing was huge. It scared the shit out of me.
I would have left.
It's rare that I will, like, say something out loud to myself in public. But I was just on this trail, and I see this fucking thing move, and I was, oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! So this is the biggest fucking snake I've ever seen. But what happened was, before that, when I was entering the trail, there was a little snake that crossed my path and I almost stepped on it. So what I think happened is that little snake, he's like, all right, I'm going to get, this big bitch to frighten this big bitch.
Because he frightened me.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. That snake had it out for me. So I've been back to that trail a couple of times since. And that specific area of it, I'm always constantly scanning the ground for this fucking snake. Because I think, one of these days he might sneak up on me. And that'll be the end of me.
Yeah, he's going to do you in.
And that'll be it for me.
Yeah. R.I.P. Chris.
I'll be digested by a snake. Like that. Have you ever seen or heard that story about the snake who ate like an alligator and blew up?
I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it and looked at it myself.
It'd be like that. The snake tried to eat me and then blow up immediately.
It's just the snake with a tiny little head and then the roundest body you've ever seen. Looks like a planet. Like, it's like, what the hell is that thing? And then he just splits open.
And I'm just like, I'm free.
Yeah. If you ever played Gears of War, it's like when the swarm capture you in those, like, vagina sack things, dude. And then they come out with all the tendrils holding them.
What the fuck? It's like, it would be like when Kratos gets pulled from the light of Alfheim.
Yeah. Boy, what are you doing? I liked it in there.
I was enjoying that. That was quite nice, actually.
It's like, Chris, are you good? What the fuck, man? I was chatting it up with him in there.
We were chopping it up. We were boys.
That's fucking funny. That's so gross.
And that snake, we were relating because like I too swallow things whole and just lay there for a little while until my gut splits open.
Oh man, not beating that claim.
I too will eat a live deer whole occasionally,
and then just sit there,
for a while in the sun.
Yeah,
to warm my cold blood.
Oh, I hate snakes. I do. No, they're not that bad. I held a python on my trip in Tennessee, and then we came across a snake in Tennessee. Did not know they climb trees, by the way.
Yeah,
did not know that. It was a black rat tail snake. We were walking, and this guy, I had my camera, and this guy was like, hey, you want to take some pictures of this or whatever? And I was like, I thought he was like making an innuendo or like joking. And he pointed, and I'm like, of the tree? And then I looked a little closer, and I just saw this literally like 5-foot black squiggly line. I was like,
yeah,
oh, shit.
That snake, the black rat snake, is the same type of snake that I saw, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Because I had to look it up, because I was like, this has to be like someone's pet. We don't have fucking things like this up here. So I had to look it up. Apparently, they can get up to like 8.5 feet long.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, this thing was pretty monstrous.
Christ.
Maybe I brought it back with me. Didn't even know.
You brought it back and you threw it into the woods
that you were going to hike. Yeah. Yeah, they're big, though.
Fucking thing was fast as shit, too.
I didn't get to see mine move. He just held onto the tree like,
He was chill. I think what happened was like, because I was coming up on him, he could feel the like Richter scale change. The vibrations of the earth. He could tell by the plate tectonics reverberating that I was showing up.
He's like, oh my God, it's another earthquake. I ended up just being Chris, going to take a piss in the woods or something. That's funny. But so that was your hike there. Didn't you have another one you were saying you did? You've been doing a couple from the sounds of it.
I've been hiking a lot, actually. So this was the same hike. I brought my camera with me, and I was taking pictures and stuff. And I was talking before, I've shifted my diet and stuff a lot. So like I've lost a lot of weight, and my blood pressure is like way down, like where it's normally, where normal blood pressure
way down
is
at the
to
nominal level.
Yeah, way down for me is like what normal people's blood pressure is. So I was saying earlier that like I'm not used to when you get up too fast, because the blood pressure change, you get, dizzy for a second. That hadn't been happening to me because I had always had like high blood pressure. So like it would just bring it back down to a normal level for a second and then come back up.
Yeah.
So now that it's normal, what happened was I was on this exact trail at this exact time before the snake incident. I had the camera and there was like this pond and there was a bunch of tree cover over it, but there was a little nook you could get into and take a picture. So I crouched down, like I got real low. I was throwing that thing back. I got real low. And I took my picture and then I just stood straight up, like within a frame. It was like there was no animation there for me standing up and my vision just went white. I was like, Jesus Christ, is this what everyone's been experiencing this whole time?
Chris saw God for a few seconds.
So now, funny. Like, I'll go, the worst one is if I'm laying down in bed and I'll do this big dramatic thing where I kick my legs over and I stand right up.
Yeah.
And that one gets me the worst because I'm like this, and then immediately I'm on my feet.
And
I'm like, oh my God. Is this what people have been talking about this whole time?
Yeah, Chris was like, everyone talked about this. I thought they were just all crazy.
I thought they were making it up, but it turns out my nominal blood pressure had just been, my blood pressure was in like PSI. Like, they were like, when I went to the doctor, they would plug one of those tire pressure monitor things into me. And it always pegged the thing all the way out.
It's like, yeah, you're dying.
So yeah, your blood pressure is 240 psi.
Yo, can we get that like cyberware though, like Cyberpunk? I'll just have a little Schrader valve that I can just. Oh, okay, we're good. Check my blood pressure.
Yeah, we could do. Honestly, I'll say this, and I know Cyberpunk specifically is like kind of a warning against doing this exact thing. The second we have that level of cybernetics, I am going to be barely recognizable as human. Because they're like,
Cyber Psycho 101.
They're going to be like, Adam Smasher, he's a bad guy. And he's like 99% cyberware, I believe. Like, he's like, there's so little human in him. And he's this like evil piece of shit. I'm going to be that. I want to be 99% cyberware.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need these old bones for?
Chris is like being a dick as a giant 99% cyberware cyborg and just like unplug his 9-volt battery. He's like, fuck.
unplug my battery. Yeah. The second I get that back, it's gonna be like Doom Guy. I'd be like the Doom Slayer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the charge back in, and you're gonna be sleeping, and you're just gonna as I walk through the wall of your house.
Mind you, it's 50 feet in the air and all exterior walls.
Yeah, I went,
what the
boom? Like Mario jumped up and I fucking
throw Hattie
through the window.
That would be fucking wild.
I do like the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 jump scare. I jump through the fucking wall.
Oh, man. I like to think that in the future, cyborgs are just going to be a bunch of series circuit 9-volt batteries. No, like, industrial batteries
all
or
in
nuclear
series
batteries.
Is crazy.
That's it.
So it's a bunch of 9-volt batteries in series. So
9 volts.
It's running at an amp, but it's like 900 volts.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no current to speak of with these things.
Oh, man. I don't think I've laughed this much in a while because I haven't been doing anything interesting. Just kidding. But my face fucking hurts already.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine anything interesting you might have been doing.
Yeah, nothing for the last month. I didn't I don't know. I didn't go to a different state or anything.
No, he would never.
No.
I'm trying to think of anything I want to talk about because I do have other stuff I want to talk about, but I don't want to crash out yet.
Yeah, save that for the next one, probably, or the end of this one.
Well, because you're gonna do game stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So I'll let you do your thing, and then then I'll have my moment.
Yeah. So, Chris,
Jordan,
I talked about this a few weeks back. Expedition 33. I was playing it.
Oh, I played like the first 2 hours of that game.
Yeah, did you like it or was it not really?
I thought it was fine. It's just I never picked it back up for one reason or another. I don't remember. I thought it was fine. I thought it was interesting. But like, God, I suck balls at the dodge mechanic. I can't time stuff for shit.
Yeah, fair.
I'm so bad at that, at like reaction time.
That's fair. It is tough. It took me a while.
My
to get
reaction speed could be measured in minutes.
Even...
If you slapped me in the face, I wouldn't react for at least an hour.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So that game, it's really fun. It did take me a long time to get the mechanic kind of down, and I still kind of suck at it. Like, I'm not a pro at it or anything. But the game was really good. And up until this point, it was kind of looking like it was probably my game of the year next to Split Fiction. Split Fiction is technically still my game of the year, but I don't count it because it was like a co-op experience. I more so mean like solo player experience game of the year.
Right.
That was Expedition 33. And then I saw this game pop up on Steam called The Alters. And I clicked on it, and I was like, okay, sci-fi, right up my alley, looks sick. Oh, it's a base builder. I'm good. I was like, I'm good. I have no interest in base building. I went a couple of days. The game finally actually launched.
Like a top-down RTS style base builder,
Side-scroll base builder. And I'm like, no, it's not for me. Like, I don't like those games. Whatever.
Yeah.
So then, a couple of days went by. The game came out. My favorite YouTuber, Game Rains, for game reviews and stuff, talked about it, and he starts talking about the game, and he starts it off by being like, yeah, it's a base builder. You build your base, and you're doing this, and without spoiling the story, this is like the general plot. Oh, did I mention that base building is like 7% of it? So like base building is a big mechanic in the game, but it's actually a third-person, dialogue-heavy, No Man's Sky-esque exploration game without the open world part of it. It's
interesting.
He described it as Fallout Shelter with that additional third person and a story.
So it's kind of like so base building in this game is kind of like farming in Stardew Valley. We're like, yeah, you're bought in because it's like the farming game. But by the time you're like a few hours into this game, farming is like 1% of what you do.
So it's got that in theory, but base building is critical to the story. So the general plot here, the reason I even bring this game up, by the way, is I think this is my game of the year so far, I think. Because the general plot of the story, and I won't spoil the reason it's called The Alters, because that's a pretty, like, fucking cool moment, but you're a guy on a space mission to discover this material called rupidium. And rupidium literally just speeds up organic processes times, like, 20,000. So, like...
Very unobtainium type name.
Yeah, I know. So you're trying to find rupidium. Your entire your entire space shuttle of people come down, and you're the only survivor.
Okay.
So now you're trapped on this planet, and you basically get to the base that has been set up on this planet, and you don't know what to do. You're just literally a builder. You're an architect, essentially. So you're trapped on this base solo, and you're trying to basically survive. Now, the thing about this planet is when the sun rises, you're dead. Because the sunrise is literally so radioactive, it's just going to wipe you out, basically.
Okay.
So the whole point of the game is you're building up this base, and you're moving it to the other side of the planet to get to a rescue squad, and you're outrunning the sun. And the cool thing about the game is, so you're building the base, and each time it's split into 3 to 4 acts. It's like 3 acts with an interlude, and there's always an obstacle. So it's like, okay, the first obstacle is, well, we need energy. So how do we do that? And you work together to get energy, get the base moving. Okay, you escape the sun. Great. Now you have 2 wheats. And the new challenge is there's some sort of gravitational force field thing that's like screwing you over or whatever. Whatever. Okay, same thing. You got to do X, Y, and Z all while outrunning the sun. So if you just lollygag and you do nothing, you will actually die and fail the game. Like, the game will end. It's not like, oh, you got killed by the sun. Let's go back to, last chapter. No, that's it. That's your story. You died. Like, you didn't make it. So the whole time, it's got these survival elements of like, okay, you have to make enough food for the people that are with you at that time. Otherwise, they get angry. They can actually rebel against you. So if you're a shitty leader, they'll straight up turn on you and kill you. And then that's the end of your story. Like, all this crazy shit that can go wrong. But moment to moment, what you're doing basically is you're on the ship. You kind of build out your base into like this dome with different facets, whether it's like a greenhouse, an infirmary, a dormitory, things like that.
Right.
You're managing all that stuff, but you're mostly trying to go outside, basically do research, like field research, to figure out what these anomalies are, how to defeat them, and then you bring that back to the base. You have someone on the base do the research, and then you craft a thing and go demo it. And all this is while you're setting up mining outposts. Very like what I can't even think of the game, but very much like another game where you literally go out, you put a mining post down on a metal deposit, and then you run power cords back to it. And
Satisfactory is kind of like that.
I think that might be what I was thinking of a little bit, because it's got that similar vibe where you're setting up basically automation in a way, but what you're doing is you're taking people from your base and you're like, okay, you're gonna mine this today, and you're gonna mine that. And then like, oh shit, I need radiation filters. Let me start the crafting, but I can't get back to the base, so let me assign this guy to craft. And like, or you can do it all yourself and stuff. And it all has this fucking remarkable story.
So, can you choose like, you said if you're a shitty leader, your people like rebel against you or whatever. Can you choose different styles of leadership then? Like if
yeah, so each person. So all right, I'll tell you why it's called the altars. It's not a big spoiler. It's on the cover of the game, but I didn't know like if anyone cares. So if you want to play the game, totally oblivious to what an altar is, go for it. But it's literally the cover art for the game. I mentioned you're the only survivor. So how is there other people with you on the base? Well, the way the game works in the first like hour you play is you discover that you can build a body using rupidium. You test it with a sheep, and you make a sheep instantly.
Right.
So then you find out that there was this archived research that was banned that allowed you to take your consciousness and then simulate different changes at pivotal key points, core memories, just like what they say, core memories, right? So what you do is you literally go into the quantum computer, and it shows you your life on a timeline and all the core memories. And at each core memory, for the most part, there's a branch point that you can do. So it's like, okay, in this core memory, like this is kind of the sad part of the story. Your dad beat your mom in front of you. Did you hide in your room or did you fuck him up? If you fucked him up, you go to the path of the miner, who is a coal miner, who's a rugged, tough guy. So, okay, we want him on our team because we need someone who's really good at mining. Boom, you branch it out, you grow his body, and then you try to get him to be friends with you. And they all have different versions of your same character, all voiced by the same guy with different accents and voices. It's fucking incredible. And they all have things that have them at odds. So, for example, the miner, sorry, not the miner, the technician is what I meant when I said the one that beat up the dad or whatever. He's the first one that you like kind of have to get, essentially. And then the rest you get to pick all throughout the story who you want to get. But his big thing is, like, he kind of looks at you as a pussy for running away, because your timeline, you didn't do anything to help your mom. He kind of is like, well, you're a bitch. Like, what the fuck do I want to help you for? You're kind of a pussy. So you kind of have to work your way into his favor, and each altar that you create helps you in various ways. One could be really good at growing crops. Another's perfect for healing people. So if anyone gets exposed to radiation, they can heal them like that, so you have no downtime. The technician will fit your base in, like, an outage quick. But they all have different personalities.
Interesting.
So they will kind of feed you the leadership ideas. Like, for example, the two main ones that you have to get, which is why I'll talk about them and not the other ones, because you should see the other ones for yourself. The technician and the scientist. Those are the two you have to get for the tutorial. The technician is very, like I said, he's kind of like burly man, like, we're going to just fucking do this. And the scientist is very much like, I don't care about my life. I don't care about your life. I care nothing about your life, but I care about what rupidium's going to do for science. So all I care about is getting the rupidium back.
I'm with the science team.
Exactly. He's like a giga nerd, and he's just like, it's all about science and research. And there's pivotal points in the story where you can choose for the technician, for example. He's like, you know, in my timeline, mom's still around, and I'm close with her. You're not, because mom's not around for you, right? So it's like, I wish I had a simulated room that I could go in that has the park bench that I used to sit on her and have lunch with. And you can choose to go out of your way to get the resources to build that, and then he'll like you more. Or you can blow him off and he might get mad, but then the scientist might defend you if you helped him do his research. So you kind of have to like play the friends with everyone, and you can never satisfy everyone. You're always going to have someone who's mad at you, but it just depends who's in your corner.
I feel as though I would immediately, were it an option, immediately take on this like dictatorial stance.
It is an option. You
like,
can be a dick, and
this is my way. This is going to happen my way. I'll give you your bread and circus so that you will never revolt.
Yeah.
And we're going to get this done, or we won't.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a part of it too, is
or I'll do nothing and we'll all die.
Like you said, the bread and circus, that's a whole pivotal point, right? Where there comes a point where the scientist, he again is very like resource first. So he's like, I'll eat mush because that's like the general food. It's just mush. He's like, I'll eat mush. I don't care. The technician,
Eat your slop.
exactly. The technician is like, we're fucking people too. We're right. So you can choose to dedicate resources to getting the greenhouse set up and growing crops and having what they call cooked meals. That will give you favor with the technician. It won't really bother the scientist, but if you just choose to blow it off, then the technician never, you never get his favor on that part. And there's all these key points that come up. So generally what you're doing is literally you're starting your days and you're like, okay, it's day 7. I got to run out. I got to grab resources. All right, I set up this outpost. Let me send this guy. And mind you, the game is good enough that like if you bounce around someone to different jobs, like you said, dictatorly, they will call you out on it. I had them walk up to me and go, if you're going to keep fucking telling me to do this, that, and the other thing, like I'm just going to like abandon your ass or whatever. Like they'll do that to you. So you kind of have to like figure out who's good at what and then maybe keep them to like 2 tasks that you alternate them between. Because if you're just sending them to go mine resources and then go refine them and then go cook dinner and then go mine more resources, they'll flip out on you. And
No, I want the guy who's been in a coal mines touching my food.
Yeah, exactly.
I want black lung, but inside my entire body, I think.
So the story is just incredible. Like it's not like a Red Dead 2 level narrative telling where it's like all these high strung characters. Because pretty much there's like maybe 8 characters total. There's your character who plays 11 different voices.
Which, mind you, that is super clever for like an indie game studio that doesn't have the resources to hire a bunch of voice actors. That's really clever.
Yeah.
Rather than just having it be like a text only sort of thing.
Yeah. So you set out your day, you go do your mining resources, all this again while escaping the sun, and every time there's something that comes and sort of screws up your day. So it's like I said, you get to the new area, you're like, okay, we outran the sun, I'm going to buckle down, I'm going to mine a bunch of resources, and then it's like, hey, there's a gravitational anomaly here that's like destroying your base, so you got to get rid of that first. Now, Chris, I see you looking on Steam. What if I told you the game's on Game Pass? That's where I played it.
I was going to say, what does the deluxe edition get you?
The soundtrack.
Oh, okay. So I see this deluxe edition bundle. It's like $10 more, but it's like Game Pass.
Yeah.
I'm literally losing money not playing it.
It is.
It's like, I'll just boot it up. I don't give a shit.
It is so good. Like, I would say stick with it a little bit. I do not like base building games. And have you ever heard of This War of Mine?
I have, I believe. I don't know much about it.
I have heard about the game, and I had downloaded it way back in like high school on like iOS or Android, whatever. And I always saw it as a side-scrolling base building game. I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't even want to play this. Turns out, guess who made that game?
Same guy?
The people who made the altars.
Oh, shit.
It's not like one of the highest rated games ever. I'm like, all right, I went and I bought it. It's on sale for 99 cents right now on Steam. I bought the complete edition for like $4 because it seems like it has similar storytelling with a little less production value because it was like their first game or like our earlier game from 2014.
Right.
Yeah, I highly recommend you check out the altars and then probably This War of Mine. I'll maybe have more on that after I play it.
Interesting.
But yeah, dude, it's so good. And the story, like, it pans out. I will say it is a little high stress, though, because I genuinely don't think I've been this stressed playing a game in a long time. Because it tells you, like, straight up, and even the voice actor for the game straight up says, like, anything can go wrong at any point, and then you're done. Like, that's it. Like, you piss off the altars enough and they kill you. That's that. Oh, you run out of resource and everyone starves? That's that. There's no loading screen. There's nothing here. You're just done.
Well, I think I figure it might have been cool if they would have done a situation like I think State of Decay does this, where like you don't have to be a specific character to finish the game. I think like in the first State of Decay, like Marcus can get destroyed by zombies and you can still be fine and just still play the game as someone else.
Yeah, in both games you can just get shredded because it has that whole permadeath thing. With this game, the only thing I will say is it has a long autosave list. So at any point you can technically go back to those, but like that save specifically, like where you died, that's it. You'd have to go back to whatever, a couple of days before if you wanted to do it that way or if you wanted to start over or whatever. But what's cool is the game is wicked smart about how it does autosaving, that if you actually reload one of your autosaves, or say you quit in the middle of a day because you just started the day, you made like a dialogue decision, and you're like, oh shit, I can't play anymore. When you reload it, even though it didn't save because it only saves on the start of a day, it will show you the dialogue choice you made. So you can change it.
Oh, interesting.
It'll actually have a little icon next to it saying already made. And then you can choose to do a different dialogue choice. So it really supports like going back and redoing things and stuff like
that. It's discovered my ultimate weapon, save scumming.
Yeah. I mean, it fully encourages it. And I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. Be honest with you, without spoiling it, because it was the ending. When I played yesterday, I made it to the end of the game. There's like a final big thing like any other game that you have to do.
How long is it?
It took me, I think, like 16, 20 hours maybe.
That's not bad at all.
But I made it to the end, and I went to do this thing, and part of it is you're running through anomalies. And at this point in the game, you've already upgraded your character and your suit and stuff and made new blueprints, and one of the things you can get is an anomaly shield. It lets you just tank up to 2 of them at a time. Up to 3 if you're fully maxed. I wasn't, but up to 2 of them at a time. Otherwise, you have to stop and use your little ray gun to blast them, but it all takes time, and the whole point of this is, again, there's a timer. So like I was just trying to beeline it. I did not craft enough of those anomalies, and anomaly shields, and I assumed that because it's the end of the game, it's like the climactic moment, that if I died, it would actually reload that day. I died, and the character fell over like always, and it said like irradiated, which that can happen normally, and you'll just get rescued by one of your alters. But in this specific circumstances, it made sense why they couldn't. And I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll reload to that day. And all of a sudden, the screen went totally black. The music made like a crescendo, and then it zoomed out on a core memory icon, and I was like, force close, force close, force close. I F4'd the fuck out of there. I was like, do not save with me having died. It was about to end the game on me because I died on the pivotal fucking moment. I was like, oh my God. So I reloaded it. It was fine. I redid it. I spent an extra day. I had 1 day left before the sun was going to come rail me, by the way. And I just crafted a bunch of extra resources, and I fucking full sent it. And
interesting.
Really solid ending. I encourage that you, think about the ramifications of your actions, because it's one of those games that I think does a pretty good job about making your choices actually feel like they matter.
Right.
Like alters will actually be mad at you and like behave differently or be less efficient at working, or like I said, they can totally uprise against you.
Interesting.
So, very good game. I recommend it. My game of the year so far.
When John Alters shows up and says, it's altering time, and then alters all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I hope he makes it for the Alters too. No, but I will say also, the soundtrack, awesome. Like, I immediately beat the game, and I went, okay, I'm going on Amazon and looking for a vinyl, and they don't have one yet. They actually just made one for this War of Mine for the 10-year anniversary. Oh. So I'm like, ooh, maybe they'll make one for the Alters soon or at the 10-year, whatever.
I would venture to guess they might have done that because, like, they were looking into doing
That's what I'm assuming.
One for the Alters.
But, man, the soundtrack is so good, and, like, I can hear it and see it in my head right now. The sound and visual, like, design that goes into when you make an altar in that game. The first time you make an altar, it's so fucking cool. The way it like branches the timeline, and it's so sick. Such a good game.
That sort of thing is really awesome with certain games and their soundtracks, where you don't have like the exact notes in your head necessarily, but when you hear a song, you can always like then see the part of the game that it was in.
Yep.
I think of like a lot of the pivotal like Red Dead 2 soundtrack.
They always had a key song, yeah.
Yeah. Or there's this song, if I'm not mistaken, there's like this song that happens, spoilers for God of War Ragnarok, when you get dropped near, when you get the spear, there's like this song that plays. I can't think of exactly how it goes, but if I heard it, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm getting the spear right now. I'm about to fucking kill Heimdall.
Yeah. The that, and even just the general like that song that fucking plays. Like I hear that, and I like rapid fire a bunch of frames from the game of like Odin talking shit to you, and like
it's I see Odin and his stupid eye patch in my head.
I just want to fucking flick him in the eye with it. Fucking nerd alert.
Nice eye patch, idiot.
He's like, oh. He starts crying.
Oh, fuck.
You really are the God of War. But yeah, the soundtracks, man, like, it can't be understated how much sound design and even just like visual design, but especially sound design, go into like making a moment feel. Like, I'm telling you, like, this little shit of like, when you're in the base and you sleep on a normal day, it'll be like, doo-doo-doo-doo, the sun is far away. And when the day loads, when the sun gets closer, it goes like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and it puts out like a bunch of different warnings of like, the sun is approaching, higher radiation level, earlier nightfall, this, that, and like, it gives you like all these yellow warnings. Just that alone makes you go like, oh, fuck. Or like if your base is getting fucked up by a storm, because that is the thing that can happen, is storms will come by. Whenever something goes down, it goes doo-doo-doo-doo, and you're like, oh no, something else fell down. So if you're like mining, because it time lapses wicked fast, like The Sims, think of The Sims on like full speed or whatever, when you're mining, you'll just see a bunch of yellow things pop up, and you're like, ding, 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 and your whole base is like fucking crumbling. You're like, oh no, I gotta get back there. So it's, the sound design, I'm telling you, man, this game's so good. Like, sound, the visual.
That just reminds me of a time I was in class. When I was in college, I was in class, and I was instead of doing my class, I was playing Factorio in the back,
As one does.
and I had the sound off, obviously, because I was playing a video game in class, and I there's an audio an audio warning you get when your base is getting fucked up, like your factory's getting fucked up. And I didn't see it, or I didn't hear it because the sound was off. And then I went down to like a portion of my base, and it was fucking getting destroyed by bugs. And I was like, I just quit the game after that. I didn't ever play that save again.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, that game's really good though. I definitely recommend at least trying and give it like a solid, I don't know, at least complete Act 1, I would say. Because Act 1 is it's tutorialized in the very beginning, and then it triggers Act 1. And then Act 1 is like, you're going to be figuring shit out. It's the longest time you have between the sunrise, and then you learn about the storms and what they mean and how to deal with them. So like the whole part of that, probably the first like 4 hours, are kind of like learning the ropes. And then Act 2, it's like, make the altars you want, good luck, have fun, and then you get to sort of do what you want to do.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's good. And like I said, I have not felt that stress playing a game in years, because like, I was like, at any moment the sun could just come and blow us up. Like I felt like I was on this ship with him. And also, by the way, the guy, I forget his name, it's Alex Jordan, I believe, does the voice acting of, let me confirm that because I want to give him full credit, but it's he does the voice acting of your character, and his name's Jan Dolsky in the game, and he kills it. Like, I'm talking like rivals Arthur Morgan levels of voice acting. Like, it's very good voice acting. So it is Alex Jordan. Yeah, it is him. He voices 11 altars. And they're all different, by the way. Like, some of them have slightly different accents. The ones that are like angrier, like your character, who's just the original, is very just like, yeah, you know, I'm Jan Dolsky, what's up? And then you got the miner who's more like, I'm Jan Dolsky, like more gruff and hardened. And then the scientist is a little bit like, I'm Jan Dolsky, you know?
I'm with the science team.
Exactly. So it's, dude, the fact it's the same guy, like, you know who he plays? Who you'll know? He's Mr. Hands in Cyberpunk.
Right, okay.
So, I was just thinking about it. I was going to say, get this guy in bigger projects, and then I forgot it's Cyberpunk. I'm like, never mind.
Now, I don't know if this was what they were trying to evoke when they named a character Mr. Hands. But there was one Boeing engineer in Enumclaw, Washington, who got fucked to death by a horse called, and he went by the alias Mr. Hands. But yeah, it was a pretty big case. Look up on Wikipedia, Enumclaw horse sex case. It sounds like it's something I'm making up, but it's not. Yeah, it's a Boeing engineer. Apparently, you don't have to be pretty smart to be a Boeing engineer, I'd imagine. I mean, back when this happened, not in recent years, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, he went to this ranch and he got fucked to death by a horse on film.
That's awesome.
So, and that so when I saw Mr. Hands, I was like, oh shit.
Thought they were probably doing something like that. Probably are.
I don't know. I don't know. The guy
like
never gives an indication like
as a horse fucker.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
fucky. Maybe the fucky.
Well, yeah. I mean, you see him in person in Phantom Liberty, do you not?
Yeah,
that's the guy.
No, that's when you first meet him, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't know, but play the altars, and that's all I gotta say.
And don't get fucked to death by a horse.
Yeah. Yeah, that would help. But,
Speaking of getting fucked to death by a horse.
Yeah, what are you playing? Playing Red Dead?
7 Days to Die is having a new update.
I heard nothing but great things about it so far, but it seems like that might change.
Have you?
I saw people saying it was going to be good. It's called 2.0, isn't it?
It's a 2.0 update.
Yeah.
Okay. It is indicative of everything I dislike about the specific development of this particular video game. So, the way 7 Days to Die has been developed since its inception is an update will come out, players will play the game and find like exploits or they'll progress through it really fast or
they'll enjoy the game.
Yeah, they'll play this sandbox game the way that the single player sandbox game the way they want to play. And then the Fun Pimps, the developers will say, you're playing it wrong. And then they'll just remove all the stuff people were using to exploit the game.
Yeah, they did that with mining zombies, right? Like
zombies so like you could basically, you could put a base underground and you were untouchable, which in fairness, I do appreciate now that the zombies do dig down. I think that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But they changed like a lot of shit. They changed zombie pathfinding a lot. They changed, they'll like add shit to counters. Like, it's very obvious that the developers, I think the head developer, he has a vision in mind for how you are supposed to play this game. And he will do his damnedest to make sure that you play the game that way and no other way.
Then he should have made a linear game.
So, what they've done in this new update, they've added a few things. And I think, by and large, most of the changes are good, actually. They've added, like, new zombie types. They've added a bunch of cool different things. They've reworked the skills a little bit. Because I think the only solid system they have in that game is the skills.
Books now?
It's books, but you still get skill points. So that influences what books you find.
Oh, okay.
Which is a system I thought I would hate a lot more, but I actually quite like it. But that's like the only solid system I think they really have. But they tweak it every so often, and the tweaks are usually like very positive. So they buffed like a lot of skills. So there was a period of time where a skill like Pack Mule was fucking useless. You could get it, and it would unlock additional slots in your inventory. But if you just put pocket mods on your armor, which are pretty easy to come by, it unlocks the slots for you anyway. So you didn't have to burn your skill points on it. This time, in addition to unlocking the slots in your inventory, you also get damage mitigation. So if you're carrying, I think if you're carrying a certain amount of items, you get like, at first, like 10% damage mitigation. It goes up to like 50%, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They really, and they did this a lot in the update for 1.0 and before that when they changed the skill system to what it is now, which I think they did around like Alpha 20. They make it so that by the end game, or even like the late mid game, you are fucking invincible. Assuming you do your skills correctly. Right. There are builds you can do where you're less invincible, but especially with this 2.0 update, I've watched a video on it, the Brawler build is still fucking on top. Because now they have a skill, I think it's called like Siphoning Strike or something, where you can generate health back
by hitting zombies in rapid succession with like your knuckles. So if you have steel knuckles,
maxed out maxed out Flurry of Blows, maxed out fucking Bar Brawler magazines and shit like that. And then you have this Siphoning Strike skill, and you have the Raider armor, which reduces your knockback, your severe injuries, gives you high damage mitigation. And you drink either moonshine or beer, you are fucking invincible for like a considerable amount of time. Because the channel I watch referred to it as, I think, just the Invincible Brawler, but I call it the Alcoholic Dad build.
Yeah.
Because it is, you have fucking like brass knuckles. And you're just chugging beers and punching the fuck out of zombies.
I had fun, honestly.
And it is delightful. So they buffed shit like that, which I think like that's the 90% of this update I would say is amazing. The last 10% fucking infuriated me. Okay. So they added a weather system. Like they had weather systems before, but they've changed it, and they've added storm events, which I think is fine. I think is great, actually. So based on the biome you're in, like the forest, I don't think has any storm events, but like the burnt biome will have like I think ash fall or something. There'll be like a sandstorm in the desert. There'll be like radiation storms in the wasteland or blizzards in the snow biome. Shit like that, which is cool. However, the way they do it is it will be they'll just be an alarm that sounds, and then it'll pop up a timer in the middle of your screen saying like get to shelter in this amount of time. And then if you don't, you'll just start taking damage. Which I think is fucking, like, there are so many better ways you could do this.
Does the game already have like a hot cold mechanic or anything, or no?
Yes, it does.
I thought it did, because when I played it years ago, it did.
So, and that's another thing I'll talk about in a minute. Because the storms, I think, of the two features I'm about to talk about, I think the storms are the least frustrating. I saw some people talking in the comments, like, saying that it would make sense if maybe you had to craft a radio, so you would have, like, a little walkie-talkie, and then the trader would be like, hey, storm's coming, something like that, so you have some kind of advance notice, without it just being, like, because it's too meta now. Those of us in the tabletop RPG community will know that when you have a conversation above table about something that's happening in the game, it's metagaming, basically. You are using your knowledge as a player
and not as the character
to try to work something out. And I think they're giving you, in this video game, they're giving you too much knowledge as a player that you as a character should not have.
I just feel like it'd be dope if it was the radio.
The UI is fucking clogged already. That UI is crowded as shit. They need a UX designer. They need a UX designer 10 years ago. So already it's like the UI is already fucking crowded. So adding more shit to it is like, whatever.
Especially meta shit.
Yeah. So that, and I can see, and in fairness, you can disable both of the things I'm talking about here. Both of the things this and the second thing I'm about to talk about. I can see a way in which this could be updated to be a much more enjoyable mechanic. And that's something that's reasonable in my mind. However, the second mechanic is probably the most egregious thing I've seen added to this game ever. So they changed this around 1.0 where the biome progression is linear, and it's in a way that makes a lot of sense, actually, where certain traders are locked to certain biomes, and you can wander into any biome you want, really. It's just biomes as you go through get harder. So like the burnt forest has like a plus half skull to everything. Your difficulty's rated in skulls. So like everything is just a base level of half a skull, and then in the desert it's one skull, and in the the snow biome, it's 1.5, and in the radioactive wastes, it's 2 skulls in addition. So like just walking around in the wasteland biome is like a mid-tier POI in the forest biome. So like it's just the game gets harder, and you get way better shit. You get loot stage bonus. So your loot stage will be like fucking quadruple what it is in the forest biome if you go into the wasteland biome.
So it's linear, but it's good at least. At least it's thought out.
So it's like it's worth your time to do it, but you do quests for the trader, and then the trader will point you to the next one in the next biome, and it'll get harder as you go through, which is a system actually I quite like. And I think it makes sense and adds like a good sense of progression to the game. They're changing this. So they still have this linear progression. However, they've changed it now that when you enter a biome that's not the forest biome, they pop a little timer in the corner of your screen. And that timer is, when it hits 0, you start taking a point of damage every second. And to mitigate this, you have to do this little quest progression. And then you get a little patch or chip from the trader, and it just makes you immune to whatever effect is in that biome. And you can extend the time you can be in this biome by using a biome smoothie, where you collect little ingredients from the biome and you mix into this drink that you drink, and it gives you like an extra like 2 minutes or whatever in the biome. Hey, this system's fucking... Hang on. There's a word I want to use and I don't... There's a word that I want to use here that I would rather not. Ridiculous, I will say.
Did you think the same thing I did?
There's another word that starts with R-E that I was going to say, but...
Yeah, I was actually about to say it right before you did. Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
That is fucking ridiculous. It's... I don't understand what they were... So, because there's ways to do this that make sense. I'll talk about another game that I really like. The Forest and Sons of the Forest. In both of those games, there's progression that you make by going into caves. And going into caves, you get different pieces of equipment. And by getting these different pieces of equipment, you can access new areas in like the next cave or what have you. So you need to go into this cave to get the scuba gear, and once you get the scuba gear, you can scuba through to the next cave or whatever. Or you get the shovel and you get more progression that way. So there's stuff like that, which that's I think the right way to do it. You're locked behind specific pieces of equipment. And that's how it was in the early days of 7 Days, where if you went into the desert, you would start overheating, and you would need to craft a poncho so that you would exist fine in the heat. Or if you were in the snow biome, you would have to get a duster jacket so that you would stay warm in the winter. And I think that was a wonderful system.
That made sense. It's accurate,
if you had a sort of progression system like that, where yes, you can exist, especially in something like the burnt biome or the radioactive biome, where like, yeah, you can exist here for a little bit, but you're breathing in like in the burnt biome, you're breathing in like ash and cinders and shit. So you need to craft like an oxygen tank or something, so or a gas mask or something like that. And the radioactive biome, like you need like a rad suit or something you have to have on. And I think that's a way better method of progression.
You could even have different tiers of those things, like a lower end rad suit that's like pushed together, and then like a real rad suit, so like you get longer time.
And you could tie it into this quest system where the trader is like, I have a rad suit for you, but you need to do 10 quests for me or whatever.
And there's your progression right there.
And I think the thing that makes this whole situation worse is to get the biome patch that makes you immune to the biome effects. The last thing for every single one, I think, is you have to survive 20 minutes in that biome. Like, not at once, but it's just like total, I think, cumulatively.
Yeah, spend 20 minutes there. Yeah.
You have to just... what are we doing here? What is it? And it's all to just... it's all just because I know for a fact fucking Joel at the Fun Pimps was watching people on YouTube go on day one and going into the wasteland biome and getting a ton of really good loot, going back into the forest and just fucking wrecking house and being like, no, that's not how you play the game. Fuck you.
Sounds like a Reddit mod.
What if no one played the game anymore? How about that? What if no one played the game except for you, Joel? How about that?
Yeah.
So you can play the way you want, and no one else gets to play.
Didn't they have like a Joel mode that you turn on and it turns into a baby bitch simulator?
Yeah, and it turns into the exact intended way you're supposed to. Imagine if Minecraft did shit like this.
Dude.
Imagine if Minecraft developers, imagine if the guys at Microsoft were watching people make an iron farm of like this fucking system where you can exploit the villager mechanics. So if you have a certain amount of villagers in a certain area, it'll spawn iron golems, and you can make a thing to funnel them into a specific area to kill them and collect the iron that they drop to get unlimited iron. Imagine if they saw shit like that and they were like, we're removing iron golems.
They don't make iron.
We're removing, yeah.
They make wheat now.
Iron golems actually only make the little flowers now. They don't make the iron, even though they're made of so much iron.
Minecraft is literally the opposite, where like they embrace that shit when it happens.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome. Like,
Like, okay, cool. We're gonna make it easier for you to do a murder simulator.
Yeah.
Awesome.
imagine if Minecraft, you start out, you're like, oh, this is pretty. You go walk up to a tree, break down a tree, like, this is cool. And then you go to a cobblestone and you start hitting it with your fist, and a text block pops up and goes, don't do that. Don't do it. You're supposed to use a pickaxe for this.
Gun comes out of your screen. I just, it's so frustrating when shit, when things like this happen. Again, imagine, so in the Minecraft modding community, there exists packs like RLCraft and SevTech Ages, where it's like, all right, to get a stone pickaxe, it's like, all right, first you have to cut down a tree, but before you cut down a tree, you have to like manually mine gravel with your hands so you can get flint, and then you can bash the flint against a piece of rock to get flint flakes, and then you can use the flint flakes to make a flint knife, and you use a flint knife to collect sticks, and then you can use sticks to make this, and then you make that, and 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 then you get a flint axe, and then you can use it to chop down a tree, and then you can use that to make a flint pickaxe so that you can get that to make rock, to get the cobblestone to make a cobblestone pickaxe. It's a frustrating amount of shit to do for something that should take 25 seconds.
But if you want to do it, it's there.
Yeah, sure. Now, the only upside to this is this biome progression thing, which, again, I gotta say, is fucking bullshit. You can turn it off. You can just turn it off.
That's how you know they knew it was shit, though.
Yeah.
You don't add a toggle if you think it's good.
You know that they don't stand on business with features like this because they're like, yeah, well, you can just turn it off.
Yeah, like...
Same with the storms. You can just turn that shit off.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, look, the storms I kind of get. Because, like, assuming the storms are an added stress, like, okay, sure, turn that off, whatever. But, like, I don't know. I just don't get it.
This biome progression shit is stupid. It is so dumb. And there are so many better ways to do it if I'm beginning to think that maybe these guys are really not competent game designers. Because I, a person who just plays games casually, I don't even play video games all that often, could tell you 1,000 ways to make this shit better than the way you're doing it.
We already came up with that with the rad suit idea.
Yeah, just like add equipment that you need, or with the storms, make it so like now you have to craft a radio station, or like you have to, or maybe it's like in Stardew Valley, there's like you get the weather report where you watch the TV in the morning and it'll tell you, oh, it's gonna rain tomorrow, or you watch the other show that's like, oh, the spirits are in good humor today, so you have better luck with certain things. If it's a situation where you have to maybe get the schematics to build like a CB radio station, and then now you have to get an antenna that's in range of the nearest trader.
Yeah,
so you got to stop by the CB radio and be like, hey, Trader Bob, is it gonna snow today? Yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad. And then you know that at some point a storm is coming.
And then you maybe could look at the sky and see clouds or something.
Yeah, maybe there could be like a visual indicator of
it's fucking Tetzbach.
Oh, the wind is picking up. And then, oh shit, now it's starting to snow.
Well, back to sound design like we talked about. You could have the trees rustle extra.
Yeah, and like maybe, instead of being like just a big block of text that says, hey, it's snowing soon. It's going to be bad. You got 28 seconds to get inside.
Yeah.
There's Fallout 4 when you have to go to the glowing sea. There's pieces of equipment you have to get for that. You have to use power armor, or you have to use a rad suit so that you go in there and you're not affected by the radiation nearly as much.
Yeah.
A little bit of competence in your game design would be nice. If you're gonna make all these changes, which I support making changes to your video game, at least think them through for more than 10 seconds. I don't know if you were just like, in the fucking writer's room, drunkenly rambling at 2 a.m. Like, we should add a fucking Boy Scout patch you gotta get before you go in the fireplace.
I'm really could go for a tropical smoothie right now.
We just gotta get a smoothie so you can eat tank radiation for 5 minutes. I think that'd be cool. Put it in the fucking game. They can do this stupid bullshit, but they've been telling us that bandits are coming in the next update since like Alpha 16.
Yeah, it made sense.
I've been playing this game for almost 10 fucking years. And and when I started playing it, it had already been out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
They've been saying, in my entire time playing the game, hey, bandits are coming soon. The real story of the game is coming soon.
Can't even get that out there.
And they can't add bandits to the game, but they can add this?
Boy Scout patches, bro.
They can add this?
It's like getting your sea lights.
Again, I'll throw the offer out there. Again. I don't even want money for it. Give me a month, and then give me your library of all the game files and the source project of the game. Give me like a month and a half. I will have bandits added to that game.
There you go.
And that'll be that. I don't even want money for it.
There you go.
I don't even want money for it. There are mods that add bandits and like other NPCs to the game. How are the modders doing it, but you can't?
It's passion, secretly.
I don't get it. I don't understand. And this is still one of the most played games on Steam.
Yeah.
It's not like the sales are dwindling. It's not like people aren't fucking playing this game. People show up to play this game every goddamn day. It has been in the top 10 on Steam for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You could at least fucking think for 2 seconds.
Especially on a decision like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Am I going to play it at the end of the day? Yeah. And do I think it's going to be a situation where they fix it, where they tweak it? Yeah.
But it's still stupid to begin with.
Yeah. Will I be turning those features off? The biome progression one, almost certainly. The storms I'll probably keep on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, maybe handle these mechanics a bit better like your actual game designers, please. If this is now a team that has ballooned in size from my understanding. I think the original team was 3 guys, and now they have 60 employees.
Yeah.
If you have all these fucking people...
Put them to work.
Put them to work on something.
Brainstorm something.
What the fuck do you people do all day?
There's no way all 60 of them thought this was a good idea.
There's no way what I think it is, and if, because I think a lot of this is Joel from the Fun Pimps, just being pissed off people are playing the game a certain way. If he's your creative director, fucking oust him.
Yeah.
Get him out of the game design process, and I guarantee you, your sales will be it'll be fucking gangbusters, dude. If you get this stupid asshole out of the process, and actually put in the cool features that people want, somehow the digital keys will run out of stock.
Yeah.
Like
the servers will crash like they did with Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Even though this game is not on dedicated servers, it will crash.
No, I meant the download servers. Remember?
Oh, the Steam servers. Yeah, yeah. It'll be like a Cyberpunk tier event.
So,
I don't understand.
Yeah, that's all I got though.
Yeah, we're done here.
So, as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed linked below. YouTube and Spotify have the video platform where you can see us. Instagram, TikTok, you can check us out there. Sometimes we'll post sometime in the next 20 years or so. And then contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us comments, questions, concerns, and death threats, and go play the altars. Don't play 7 Days to Die, though.
No, tweet at the Fun Pimps and say, tweet at the Fun Pimps.
At Joel.
Fix this fucking stupid feature or I'm going to kill you.
Don't do that. No,
don't say that.
Don't do that. Yeah. No. Wait.
Say, fix this fucking stupid feature or I'm going to hug you.
Aggressively.
Okay,
bye.
Bye-bye.